What do you make of Mohammed Yunus's statement about India's Far East states being landlocked and inviting China to extend their interests through Bangladesh? Is there any action that we can take against them aside from doing Kadi Ninda? So Mohammed Yunus was in China recently. He's the puppet figurehead leader of Bangladesh, US installed puppet leader. uh, I don't know what his title is. He's not the prime minister. He's just a figurehead. He's just a talking head installed by the Americans. But he's a great man because he's got a Nobel Prize, whatever. So Yunus goes to China and he offers Bangladesh's mercenary services to China. He says that, India's far eastern, he calls it northeastern states are a landlocked country, sorry, region. That's what he said. He first said country, then he said region. And he says that Bangladesh guards the ocean, and India can't reach the ocean from that region because of us. So China should invest in Bangladesh. So he's essentially trying to position China against India. He's trying to offer his mercenary services, his nation's mercenary services against India in containing India to China. That shows his mindset. See, essentially, people like him, they don't produce any value for society. They don't create anything good for the country. All they do is peddle their country to the highest bidder. That's what they do. Okay, so he is an US appointed puppet, but right now he was trying to peddle his country for a few pieces of silver to China, and he is positioning India as the enemy, right? So it tells you about his mindset. So what action can we take against him? Against this, apart from doing Karininda? First of all, we should not do Karininda, which is condemnation. Just ignore his statement, which is what India's government has done. I don't think we have put out any statements again about this. Secondly, you have to understand that his words are also just words, right? His words are also words, and they have exposed his mindset, and they've exposed the nature of his government. So, first thing we have to remember, he is a figurehead with zero power. All his job is to stay in the limelight, draw all the media attention to himself, so that the people who are really in power, they can stay hidden. That's his job. And who's really in power in Bangladesh? It's the military. It's always the military. So the military, Bangladesh is under military rule, and the military is aligned with the US. And Mohammed Yunus is trying to sell his country to China. What should India do? India should not do Kadininda. India should also not take any drastic action. Be aware that this is a very hostile Bangladeshi regime. Be aware that this is East Pakistan again, and take the required measures along the border regions. Be aware that you may have anti-India elements being propped up again in these regions. Maybe terrorists from Pakistan, Pakistani people brought into Bangladesh to introduce terrorism into Indian parts across the border, or something else. So always be aware of these things and take adequate measures to ensure that none of this spills over into India. And when the time is right, we can perhaps encourage Bangladesh to revert to a better form of governance, a more democratic form of governance. We can do it eventually at some point in time. So that's what we should do. But we should know that by now it should be clear Mohammed Yunus is an enemy.